So it's been kind of a news-filled week for the Texans, and it's all types of news, small news, kind of big news, and kind of stuff you have to kind of dig more into it to like get something out of it. But before we get into the news, make sure to click that like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the little notification bell because I do go live every single day, and I would really like for you guys to all show up to my live streams. And if you ever have a question that you want answered, just show up to one of my live streams and I'll usually answer it 100% of the time, most likely. Anyways, let's get right into the news. Start off with the smaller news. Brandon Weeden is back in Houston. Brandon Weeden, he played quarterback for us. What was it, 2015? And I think he was a backup in 2016. Didn't really do much in 2016 though. But in 2015, he actually went in there. He won us 2 games and our first game ever in Indy. Now, Brandon Weeden isn't like the guy we kind of all want as a backup, being the mobile guy that can, pretty much a guy that can do somewhat what Deshaun Watson can do, because we all know nobody can do what Deshaun Watson can do because he's special. So Brandon Weeden's not that guy, but I do like Weeden. I feel like he was like one of the better options out there. I feel he is a huge upgrade over Tom Savage and TJ Yates. But that doesn't really say much because, yeah, they were pretty terrible last year. But an upgrade nonetheless. But I don't really think it necessarily means we're not going to draft a backup quarterback. I believe Brandon Weeden's just going to be that veteran presence quarterback that we were going to get regardless, I feel like. Because I don't think they'd go into the season with Deshaun Watson and a rookie quarterback. I feel like they were going to get a veteran quarterback regardless. So, I mean, why not Brandon Weeden? He's been here before. And the next part, Xavier Su'a-Filo to the Titans. Everyone's favorite Texan is in Tennessee now. And Su'a-Filo sucks, and Tennessee sucks. I mean, I don't really think much of it. Like, good riddance is pretty much all I'm going to say. Now, the next things are going to be kind of interesting, really. The first news being Bill O'Brien said he'd be comfortable with Foreman as his starting running back. I honestly don't believe Bill O'Brien would just say that, like, out of nowhere for no reason. I feel like something is brewing with Lamar Miller, because earlier on in the offseason there were Lamar Miller trade rumors and, Texans cutting Lamar Miller rumors. So personally, I don't want Lamar Miller to go. I do think Foreman can be a starter. I do think he can be better than Lamar Miller. But I just don't think he's ready yet. I'm not sure how he's going to come back from the Achilles injury. That's my biggest concern about him. And Foreman isn't exactly someone that can pass protect well. And right now we're trying to protect Deshaun Watson, and parting ways with Lamar Miller to make Foreman the starting running back, it's just no, man, because, again, the Achilles injury is really what worries me. I'm, like, terrified of it. Like, what if he doesn't come back? I hope he does, because I love me some Foreman, but I don't know. Maybe they'll, like, start Foreman and keep Miller, maybe, for, like, one more year or something like that. I don't know. I just hope we don't part ways with Miller. Not yet. Not yet, at least. And the next thing. In a recent interview, Bill O'Brien said, "We're going to have, at the very least, probably have 4 new starters. Davenport may start off at left tackle." So, the Texans ended up missing out on Soldier, which was probably a good miss because New York ended up paying $15 million for him a year, which he is not worth that much because he's not that good. So, might have been like a blessing in disguise type of thing. So now Julian Davenport has a chance to start, which is pretty much what every Texans fan really wants right now. Probably the best option, realistic option out there right now. So he's going to get his chance to start early on in the season, and hopefully he can take advantage of it and make something out of it. But wait, there's more. If we keep reading, Bill O'Brien continues to say, we'll give him that opportunity. See what type of shape he comes back in. You've got Zach Fulton, Chantrell Henderson, Senio Clemente, Nick Martin. We've got a lot of work to do with the offensive line. That takes a long time. And so the way we're teaching it, the way we're installing the offense is good for us, for all of us, because it's a little bit of new for all of us. And I think it's going to be very unique spring because of that. It's like a new beginning. And then, in that same interview, he goes on to say later on, I feel good with where we're at. We added 3 guys in free agency. Chantrell Henderson, feel really good about him coming off of last year. Played at the end of last year. Had a real good Miami game. Played real well in that game. We feel good about where he's at. We feel like he could play right or left. We'll start him off on the right side, but we think he can swing over to left. Zach Fulton, we feel real good about. We'll start him off at guard, but he can play center if we want to move Nick Martin to guard. There's some versatility there. Then, Clemente from Jordans. Nobody asked me about him because Fulton and Central. A lot of the questions come about those guys. But Clemente guy, I was very, very impressed with him on tape. Tough guy, can pull, athletic. So we feel like we really added some talent there, and we're looking forward to getting to work with him. So Bill O'Brien said that about the offensive lineman. So, to me, reading this, it tells me 2 things. It tells me who the starting offensive line is, and it tells me that Jeff Allen is probably out of here, because Bill O'Brien, by name, he mentions Davenport, he mentions Central Henderson, he mentions Nick Martin, Zach Fulton, and Clemente. And if you look at all these guys, Davenport's your left tackle, Clemente is one of your guards, Nick Martin is your center, Zach Fulton's your other guard, and Chantrell Henderson's your right tackle. So that right there, guys, that's your starting offensive line. There is probably your starting offensive line. They'll probably draft more offensive tackles, but as of right now, that is the starting offensive line. And to me, that's a bit worrisome, because I trust Davenport. I'm 100% putting my trust in Davenport. Nick Martin, we saw what he can do. He's good. And Fulton, we know he's good. Clemente, I don't know if he could be a full-time starter. They say he's really damn good, but I don't know. Start, see what you can do. Chantrell Henderson, I don't know, man. Don't know how good he is, so yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the offensive line. But a name Bill O'Brien didn't mention at all was Jeff Allen. So Jeff Allen is most likely on the way out. Why? Well, because you are not going to pay $7 million a year for a backup guard. You're just not. So I'm pretty sure Jeff Allen will be shipped or he'll be cut pretty soon. So don't be surprised. And another thing, this is probably the most important thing I want to talk about, the best thing I want to talk about, the most interesting thing I want to talk about. And I say this because a lot of people on Twitter are really, really freaking out. So Bill O'Brien said that he's kind of installing a new offense. So Deshaun Watson's going to have to learn a brand new offense. And a lot of people are freaking out. They're saying, what the fuck? It was working last year. Why are you going to mess with it? Okay, if you go back and look at last year, why was it working? Well, it was new. It was fresh. New stuff the Texans were doing. Teams weren't used to that shit. And if you really look at it, it was pretty much out of the same formation. Like, the same concept. It's not really the same formation, but the same concept. Bill O'Brien would use play action. He'd have Bruce Ellington in the backfield or the tight ends. And it would confuse the edge rushers. Like, he would do that to slow them down because our offensive line was god awful. So he would do that. But defensive coordinators adjust. With Deshaun Watson, they didn't have time to adjust. There wasn't enough time. So I wouldn't really look at this as Bill O'Brien making a brand new playbook, making a brand new offense, making Deshaun Watson learn a brand new playbook. Look at it more as, okay, we have what we used last year. Okay, now let's add in some more stuff to that. So Bill O'Brien is just adding in more stuff to the playbook. He's adding more stuff onto Deshaun Watson's plate, which is genius, because if he wouldn't have done it, then guess what? Defensive coordinators would adjust to what they were doing, and they would stop it because that's what they do. That's their job. They get paid to do that. So don't freak out because O'Brien is quote unquote changing the playbook, because he's not changing the playbook. He's just adding in more wrinkles to it, which is smart. If he didn't do that, then it would get figured out at some point during the season and it wouldn't work. So good job by Bill O'Brien. Anyways, guys, if you guys watched the whole video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.